folks, it's Wednesday.
Hey folks, it's Monday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's Thursday.
It's Friday.
This week we're talking about internet relationships. So before I get into the very detailed story of my experience, personal, with internet relationships, here's the too long didn't watch version of this video. Internet relationships can work if both sides are communicative and are honest about what they want out of said internet relationship. In April of 2008, at the end of my sophomore year of high school, I met a guy online named Sean. I met him on Facebook, but yeah, don't meet people on Facebook. Just as a general rule. He lived about 3.5 hours away, but also in Colorado, so that seemed close enough that it totally made sense to have a relationship. We started a very passionate, long-distance relationship, even though we'd never met in real life, and we didn't tell our parents or anybody because, you know, we met each other on Facebook and we're 16. Not a good idea. So we went back and forth, we were very romantically involved. Then he started waffling on whether or not he wanted to be romantically involved with me or just my friend, but throughout the entirety of his flip-flopping, it was very clear that he liked me a lot. And then right before I started my junior year of high school, I went on Facebook and his relationship status just changed from single to in a relationship. He was now in a relationship with someone that he knew IRL, in real life. That was really devastating to me because he had never communicated that to me, and at that point I still thought he liked me, but apparently not. Then he started asking me for relationship and sex advice for him and this new girl, and that was really unfair. We didn't talk for a long time because he was involved with these other girls. Then April of the next year, junior year, I was in therapy. I was having lots of panic attacks related to both Sean sort of betraying me and other things that were going on in my life. But that April, we started talking again. He started apologizing profusely for his actions. He was saying things like, oh, I'm so sorry, I should have never gone with those other girls. I was just so confused because, you know, we've never met in real life and I was so connected to you and that scared me, that intensity scared me. But it's always been you. I should have picked you. You were the right choice all along and I can't believe I didn't see that. And so, you know, I'm 17. I'm an emotional mess. And that's really validating to hear. So that April, a year after we'd met, unbeknownst to my parents at the time and until this video, we met once before we officially met. We met like late April because his marching band was in my town for a marching band convention thing, and so I, in secret, went off to meet him, and we played laser tag and made out in my truck for a little while. Nothing like bad happened, you know, nothing too explicit. It was just making out, I swear. And but my parents didn't know about it. Yeah, so after the first secret meeting, by this point my parents knew about him because I had this massive breakdown and he was part of that, and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I met this guy on Facebook. So they were more accepting of that than I expected. I met him with my mom a couple weeks later. My mom really liked him and he was really great. Then we carried out an even more intense relationship that summer because we'd come so far with one another, and he dropped the L-bomb, love. So we started telling each other we loved each other because I had never felt that way before. I told my last 2 boyfriends that I loved them for the periods of time that I dated them, but I never really meant it. This time I did. And even though being removed from the situation, obviously now it wasn't a healthy love necessarily or a healthy relationship, that didn't change the fact that I was in love with this boy. I was so in love with this boy. So by the end of that summer, he had come to the conclusion that he didn't want to go into college because he was a year older than me with a relationship, even though we weren't technically labeled. So it was kind of understood by both of us that we needed to end our relationship romantically by the end of the summer. So right before the end of the summer, he came to stay at my house for a night and meet the whole family, and that went really well, and it was really great to hang out with him. But it was kind of, you know, unspokenly understood that after that day, when he left my house, and so like, you know, we wouldn't see each other anymore, that was the end of our romantic relationship and we would just be friends after that. But unfortunately, a week after that, so like a week before we both started school and a week after he had been at my house and met my family and, you know, we'd made out some more, he ended our conversation with, I love you. And I didn't say it back because I was really upset that he had essentially broken up with me but then continued to, you know, want to be in love with me, and, you know, was communicating that to me. He knew how I felt. You know, I love this boy so much, and he really unfairly continued to like ask for my affections even after we were supposed to end our romantic relationship. So I didn't say it back to him. I logged off. There were some passive-aggressive Facebook notes and messages and statuses. And we didn't talk for a while, and then we started talking again, and he started saying all this stuff about how pretty I looked and how much he missed me and all of this crap, and I was constantly trying to, move on with my life, but he was making it impossible because even though he didn't want to be romantically involved, he kept saying things that made it seem like he wanted to be romantically involved, so it was just a lot of flip-flopping. We weren't communicating well, and so New Year's Eve of 2009, so the middle of my senior year of high school, I basically told him off via Gmail chat, and I was like, you can't do this to me anymore. I'm deleting you from Facebook because I can't see your happy Facebook statuses. I can't do that. I'm so in love with you still, and you won't let me forget it. I need time, and you're not giving me that time or space. And so I told him off, and I told him all the bad things that he'd done to me, because he really didn't treat me well the entire time, because there was so much flip-flopping that he was not communicative. So anyways, we didn't talk for a really long time. We still don't talk that much, but yeah, that was not a fun time in my life. But like I said at the beginning of this video, that relationship wouldn't have been nearly as tumultuous if we had both been honest and upfront with what we wanted out of the relationship, and we were not. We never were. I mean, we were 16 and 17, so that's half of the reason. But yeah, any internet relationship can work just as well as any regular relationship, as long as both parties fully understand what they want out of the relationship. Yeah. Alright, thanks for watching, even though that was kind of really depressing. Laya, I'll see you tomorrow.